Hey there, OU. I'm Tommy Barnes, and welcome to a new episode of Explore OU, where we take a look at some of the fun activities happening around OU and much more. On today's show, we check out a brand new installment of Full Court Press, where host Patty Cesarini interviews Brianne Beatty, a member of the women's basketball team. Get a good look at OU's latest homecoming weekend. Take a deep dive into Meadowbrook Hall's pipe organ with a new segment, Meadowbrook Minute. Meet the School of Business's new dean, Charles Pierce, in the latest installment of 20 Questions with the Dean. And finally, we'll finish with the Thanksgiving edition of my favorite segment, Tommy and Tyler on the Town. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're starting today's show with the latest installment of Full Court Press, where host Patty Cesarini checks in with Brianne Beatty, a member of the women's basketball team, and learns about her as a person and as a basketball player.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Full Court Press. I'm your host, Patty Cesarini, and today I'm sitting down with women's basketball shooting guard, Bree Beatty. Bree, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on being selected to All League's second team in preseason polls, so congrats. How do you feel about that?
Thank you. I feel good about it. I mean, I'm usually not one who cares about the accolades really, so I mean, it's nice that people notice, but it doesn't mean much to me.
It just doesn't change how you go about things and stuff. You're still working. Mm-hmm. You guys actually just started practice, a couple weeks ago now? So how's that been going?
It's been going good. We're really putting in our defense now, trying to hone in on that. But it's coming together nicely. We have a lot of pieces, and we're just trying to put them all together.
And part of those pieces are new coaches, right? You guys got a couple fresh faces in the coaching staff. So what's it like getting to know them and working with them now?
Yeah, it's been good. Like, you can tell that they really care about, your well-being, and they work hard. They work hard to get to know you. So I think we've meshed well with them and getting to know them. So yeah, it's been really good.
Right. You also have one more year of eligibility because of the whole crazy COVID thing.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking you want to do? You want to stick around? Is that too early to ask that question?
No. My plan is to stick around, start my master's in special education.
What is that kind of going to look like, especially with your basketball schedule?
I'm not sure yet. I actually have a meeting today to see what that's going to look like. Yeah.
Just to kind of get the ball rolling in that direction.
Yep.
So you guys were also, as a team, ranked 7th in the overall preseason ratings. What was that like for you guys, seeing that and kind of going into this season, having that underdog status?
I think it's something we're used to, People don't expect a lot from us, which I actually like. Those people have nothing to lose, so we're going to go out and play our hardest, because we have no expectations. We're underdogs.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're at the top of the league, you feel like
you
got everything to lose. Yeah, that pressure. And sometimes that starts to creep in and you get that feeling of let's play not to lose instead of playing to win. But like you said, as an underdog, you guys go in there and you just want to tear it up. Yeah. Because nobody knows what's coming, right?
Exactly.
So speaking of expectations, what are your expectations for this year?
Some of our short-term goals are probably just perfecting our defense and really just working on our chemistry on the court.
Chemistry is always such a big one. Having that chemistry off the court leads to it even better on the court, right? So having that element in there just makes everything flow so much better. And for any sport, any athlete.
Right.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
I think really just those gritty wins, when we're just getting after it. I love those kind of wins. And
those moments.
Yeah,
right?
Especially when, like you said, we're not expected to win. So I love those moments.
Right. Well, before we wrap up here, I just want to play a little, I wouldn't say it's a game, but have you seen the TikTok trend where it's if you were a fill in the blank, what would you be? So basically, I'm just going to ask you if you were a season, what would you be?
Oh, okay, and actually I do,
yeah. And they have the funky little music.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. kind of tap into like your
Okay.
creative side, right? And what you are creative, you are into art
I
and
am.
shoe painting. So before we get into that TikTok trend, what made you get into that?
I think I've always been into it. Like ever since I was a kid, I had a best friend who we would just draw like all the time in elementary school, and then it kind of just took off from there. We both got really interested in art, so we kind of just took our journey
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
So what kind of creative stuff are you working on today?
Honestly, I haven't had much time to sit down and really get into it because I like to spend like 4 to 8 hours just sitting
Oh,
down.
yeah. Wow.
I'm into painting right now. I didn't used to like painting at all, but then I started it up in high school and I just did a painting recently. So I'm really into that right now. It changes every year. It changes. I
Yeah.
was just like you said, I was just into shoes, and then a little bit ago I was into embroidery. So it changes, but definitely into painting right now.
All right, well, let's see how well your creative juices flow in this game. So I'll ask you again, if you were a season, what would you be and why?
Summer, because I love the
like that
sun and
answer.
just sit in the sun, bathe
Yep.
in the sun, all of that.
If you were a fruit,
Probably a pineapple, because I like pineapple. I don't know how to do that.
just because I like it. If you were a holiday, what would you be and why?
Thanksgiving, because I like family.
Oh, that's a heartfelt answer. If you were a color,
Probably blue, because I just like blue.
that's just
answered
your
that
aura,
Carolina.
Okay, and the last one that I have is you're a shoe gal. So what shoe would you be and why? She's like, there's so many options.
There is.
Okay, then what's your favorite shoe?
My favorite shoe is probably Jordan 4s, but I don't have any.
All right, so we're gonna look into maybe getting a pair of those.
Yeah,
in the
got
future,
to,
repping
got
them.
to.
I mean, that could be a pretty gnarly game day fit if you
Yeah.
ask me. Walking
Yep.
in with those. Well, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And that is all that we have today on Full Court Press. I'm your host, Patty Sesterini. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
We always love hearing from the fantastic athletes right here on our campus. Stay tuned for next month's, as I'm sure it'll be every bit as fun. OU's Homecoming and Reunion Weekend is an event that happens every October here on campus, and it's always a great way to celebrate the new school year, as well as invite OU alumni back to campus for a weekend filled with good food, good friends, good games, and a good time. Let's check out the highlights from this year's fun-filled weekend.
Oakland University recently welcomed students, staff, faculty, alumni, and families to celebrate the 2022 Homecoming and Reunion. Here are some of the highlights from this fantastic weekend. The SPB Silent Disco was brought back better than ever. Students were given the opportunity to join the community and dance the night away. Headphones were provided for each person that allowed them to change from station to station based on what kind of music they wanted to hear. Each person could have their own personalized dance party while still being able to disco with friends. It was the perfect way to kick off the celebration. On the following day, the Golden Reunion celebration was held at Meadowbrook Hall. This year, the celebration was held to commemorate the 50th reunion of the graduating class of 1972. All alumni from this class and earlier are invited to attend and reconnect with one another each year. The event hosted a breakfast for the members along with a slideshow and artifacts for everyone to reminisce over. Following this, the Oakland University soccer team went head-to-head with Wright State. After a tough game against the Raiders, Oakland came out on top, winning 1-0. soccer team has been having a fantastic season, and it was no different during this homecoming celebration. Of course, the homecoming celebration could not be complete without the annual homecoming celebration itself. There was cornhole and rock climbing set up for those who wanted to challenge themselves or others to a game.
You tried everything and you don't give up.
At the same time, there was a concert happening all night with different artists getting to perform their sets. The dancing and music hardly stopped all night and was a great way to celebrate and bring the community together. The celebration officially ended with the annual club football game against Michigan State. The community showed up for the game and cheered on the Grizzlies until the very end. While the team played their best, Oakland eventually lost 18-13, but they brought the energy and sense of community in a strong way to close out the night. The 2022 Homecoming and Reunion celebration was better than ever this year, with so many different and fun events to bring the community together, and it will only continue to get better in the coming years.
Homecoming is always a ton of fun, and while it was a bit cold, it looked like everyone had a blast. We can't wait to see what next year has in store. Moving on, Explore OU is happy to introduce a brand new recurring segment, Meadowbrook Minute. The segment aims to take a close, detailed look at some of the various things that make up the rich history of Meadowbrook Hall. This month we take a deep dive into the mansion's Aeolian pipe organ, an instrument about 100 years old, stretching through the house and filling the beloved mansion with beautiful and unique music throughout the year. Let's check it out.
In a home filled with rare and precious things, the Aeolian organ at Meadowbrook Hall stands apart as something quite remarkable. Surrounded by an ornate inlaid American oak console and featuring elegant and winding white flowers, the organ can be played from inside the organ alcove, a space between the hall's library and living room. A beautiful Tiffany Studios lamp hangs above the alcove, bathing the space with a beautiful and ethereal glow. The bulk of the organ exists within the structure of the historic mansion. In addition to the organ alcove itself, 3 chambers of organ pipes stretch across the basement, with a pipe room echoing through the 4th floor. With 3 manuals, 76 ranks, and 4,500 pipes, it's the largest Aeolian organ in a private residence in Michigan. While some of the massive pipes are stored in the basement, the organ music is conducted up into the home by a 2-story double concrete walled section of the pipe room, and can be heard through draped openings in the living room. Conversely, the pipes stored in the 4th floor force the sound to travel downward along a concrete shaft to emerge from a carved panel in the grand staircase. This unusual arrangement allows the sound to be audible throughout the entire mansion. However, for aspiring organists, the playing of the organ is made somewhat difficult, as a noticeable delay can be heard each time a key is pressed. While the organ is played manually today, in years past, player music rolls, 800 of which are stored behind the instrument, could be used to play the organ mechanically. Today, they are on display for visitors to view, but are too fragile to be used in the organ itself. At a cost of nearly $60,000, equivalent to just over $1 million today, Meadowbrook Hall's Aeolian organ was originally ordered in 1919 by John and Matilda Dodge to be installed in their new mansion in Grosse Pointe. Unfortunately, John Dodge passed away and the home was never completed. The brand new organ sat in storage for about a decade until it was finally installed at Meadowbrook Hall in 1929. The Aeolian Company charged Matilda and her second husband, Alfred Wilson, an additional $7,000 for the installation, equivalent to more than $118,000 today. The sheer size and scale of Meadowbrook's organ might suggest the family was particularly devoted to music. Yet none of the family was especially musical or even trained to play. On special occasions, Matilda Dodge Wilson would invite an expert to come out and perform for family and guests, and many of these occasions were recorded in the guest book. Years later, Matilda's granddaughter Judy has fond memories of playing on the massive organ. Even though she didn't know many songs, Matilda enjoyed hearing her play on the oft unused instrument. Today, the organ is mostly used during the annual Holidays at Meadowbrook event. Volunteers from the American Guild of Organists, specially trained to handle the temperamental and unrestored organ, lend their skills to serenade Meadowbrook visitors as they take in the decorated hall. More than 100 years after it was built, listening to a performance on Meadowbrook's remarkable Aeolian organ is a unique occasion. Whether you're able to hear the instrument or simply see it, it's an experience you won't soon forget.
Meadowbrook Hall is filled to the brim with history, and you can find something interesting everywhere you turn. We can't wait to see what's in store for the next Meadowbrook Minute. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned. There's a lot more Explore OU after this.
It's time. Time to reclaim your future, to dedicate yourself to achieving your goals and accelerate your learning. We're ready to provide the flexibility you need to reimagine your career.
Welcome back. I'm Tommy Barnes, and let's get back into the show. We're going to dive right into another of our recurring segments, 20 Questions with the Dean. This month, we meet Dean Charles Pierce, the new Dean of the School of Business Administration. He talks both about himself personally and professionally, and has a lot to say. Let's roll the clip.
So I was born near Philadelphia. I lived in Los Angeles near Disneyland. Then I moved to a place called Troy, Michigan, right down the road from here. I was 14 years old when I left here. I moved here at age 4, so I was a kid, but I consider myself a Michigander. The other parts of the country I've lived in, when people hear me talk, they often ask me, what part of the Midwest or what part of Michigan are you from? My undergraduate degree, it's a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. I went to Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York. I have a master's and PhD in psychology with a focus in industrial organizational psychology, human resource management, and organizational behavior from the University at Albany, State University of New York, and that's in Albany, New York. Passionate with persistence. So I get excited about initiatives. I try to get others excited about working on them with me, and then you have to be persistent. First and foremost, it's servant. I mean, in a university setting, when you serve in a leadership role or an administrative role, we're here to serve and help others, students, faculty, staff. We're here to help them succeed and develop. I try to add to that a little bit of humor and casual and colloquial, so that it's not always serious. I don't like when people working with me just feel on edge all the time. The business school here at Oakland University has a lot of opportunities that I felt my prior experience at University of Memphis, I could bring that experience here to help. Expansion of online degree programs, building out an executive education training programs, building a new executive and residence program. There was just a lot of opportunities from program perspective and business community outreach perspective that was very appealing to me, and easy choice to come here. Well, my first day of work was August 1st, 2022, and my role is I'm Dean of the School of Business Administration here at Oakland University. Walking around campus, the one thing I noticed right away was how friendly everyone is. This is probably the first university I've worked at where when I'm walking around a campus, students say hi to me. I think it's really cool walking under the clock tower, under the Elliott Clock Tower. It just brings me back to when I was a student. I loved walking around campus as an undergraduate, as a graduate student, and that's part of the reason why I've never left the campus. I want to be at a university forever. One of the things that's exciting me is we're building an executives and residence program. And so far, as of today, we have 6 executives from the business community who've agreed to help our School of Business. And your business community here in the area is ready to help OU and the School of Business, and I'm excited about that. Well, the School of Business right now is very appealing primarily to students in the region. Nearly all of our students are from Oakland County, Wayne County, Macomb County, or somewhere in Michigan. Our goal is going to be to expand our footprint. You know, we need to add online degree programs at the undergraduate and graduate levels to attract students not just from Michigan, but all over the U.S. and all over the world. When I went away to college out of high school, I thought I wanted to be an orthodontist. I changed my mind while I was in college because it started to dawn on me that my hands were going to be in people's mouths all day, every day. I do have days where I think, what would it be like to own a business? You know, own a restaurant or own some real estate or own a company, but there's a big risk to it. And I love what I do, so I'm not going to give up doing what I'm doing here at Oakland. Well, my significant other is Catherine. I've been with her for about 10 years, so it's just she and I, no kids, no pets. We travel light. Well, I don't have one favorite movie, but I like slapstick comedy. Fletch, Caddyshack, Old School, Wedding Crashers. No one favorite movie, but I definitely like comedies. Seafood, American, Italian, Mexican food, I mean, you name it, we like it all. We love San Diego. San Diego's beautiful. A couple of years ago, we went out to Scottsdale, Arizona for a golf tournament. In the middle of winter, Scottsdale, Arizona is heaven. We do love the Rocky Mountain region. We've been to Denver, all over, Colorado and Montana. It's hard to just say one spot. Well, this will date me a little bit, but I do like soft rock. One of my favorite bands for my life has been the Eagles. Well, you're asking an academic their favorite book. I can candidly tell you that I've never done a lot of pleasure reading because of all the reading I've had to do for school or work. So sadly, I know people watching this video will be kind of bummed to hear, but my favorite books are statistics and research methods books, human resource management books, org behavior books, reading that's in my field. Always a big fall fan. I'm not a super heat guy. Living in Memphis was rugged. If you're from Michigan and you're thinking of moving south, check out the heat and humidity. I hit a pretty good golf ball, and I hit a pretty good tennis ball, and I hit a pretty good baseball, and I can throw a decent football. Oh, easy question. Oakland University by far. I've worked in or been a student at many universities in my career, but didn't always, choose them because that was my top choice. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for being dean here of the business school at Oakland University.
It's always so great to hear from the people that make our campus so special. Welcome to OU, Dr. Pierce. Our next segment is my personal favorite, Explore OU's recurring Man on the Street segment, Tommy and Tyler on the Town. Yours truly and my co-host Tyler hit the town to learn what OU students think about Thanksgiving and also get a head start on Thanksgiving dinner with the crew here at OUTV. Let's check it out. Welcome to Thanksgiving dinner.
Tommy, this isn't Thanksgiving dinner. I don't even know what this stuff is.
Thanksgiving is not so much about the food, but about spending time with friends.
I literally do not like you.
Not only do I not like you as a person, you are my worst employee.
I appreciate what you did here, but this is gross. We have to shoot our show in 10 minutes, man. So I'm gonna let you eat whatever this is, and I'll meet you outside the OC in 10 minutes.
I'll catch up with you later.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tommy and Tyler on the Town. My name's Tyler, and once again, I have no idea where Tommy is. Maybe we'll find him in this episode, but probably not. Today, we're gonna go into the OC and ask people about the 3 Gs: family gatherings, gluttony, and genocide. Let's get right into it. What is Thanksgiving all about?
It's about being thankful for the little things in life.
Thanksgiving is about giving thanks.
It's a weird tradition that we've been doing for a long time that it's got some alternate meanings than what people really think it actually means.
Basically, the Indians and the Europeans kind of like got together to like stop fighting a little bit.
I think what we celebrate is what we think happened.
Yeah.
I think we think the Pilgrims and Native Americans got along and had a feast, but I really think that's not what happened.
That is indeed not actually what happened. They just started fighting. So we got one of the G's, ladies and gentlemen, genocide. Say we are celebrating Thanksgiving. What is the best food?
Definitely gotta be mashed potatoes and gravy.
I like the little sweet potato casserole with like the marshmallows and cinnamon on top. That's so good.
Macaroni, without a doubt.
So your favorite is turkey? What do you have to say about that?
Macaroni, turkey.
Probably stuffing.
For sure. Stuffing? Okay, then if you can get rid of a Thanksgiving food, which one would you get rid of?
The cranberry sauce.
I'm not a mashed potatoes guy. I don't like mushy food, so mashed potatoes.
That was a bad answer, but I'll still take it.
Probably beets or something like that.
Beets? What?
Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce.
That cranberry like sauce that comes out of the can.
Yep. That is the worst. Again. If you can make any food, a traditional Thanksgiving food, and eat it every year on Thanksgiving, what would it be?
If I can make any food,
Any food in the world.
Probably hamburgers.
Shrimp Alfredo.
I would make you spicy mac and cheese.
Oh, gotcha.
Elephant ears came up into my head, so I think elephant ears.
I have to say sub sandwiches, man.
Does it come with like the deli where you can pick your own meats, or is it like just like a specific sub?
Just an Italian. Only an Italian. That's it.
One like Kroger 12-foot Italian sub.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you going to be giving thanks this Thanksgiving?
Yes.
What are you thankful for?
For family and just being here, being alive and well, healthy, all that.
My friends and my family.
I'm thankful for everything in Indiana.
Thankful to be back. Thankful to be here. Thankful to be breathing.
Seeing family and eating.
Family gathering, second G, baby. We did it.
Well, I've made it this far. It's wafer thin after all.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. But now we're going to end the episode and head back into the... You guys hear that? I think something just blew up. And for some reason, I feel like it was Tommy's fault. So I think we should just go back to the studio now. Oh, my God. Tommy? Well, guys, I guess that's our third G right there. Gluttony. Anyways, this concludes our Thanksgiving episode of Tommy and Tyler. Hopefully, Tommy will be back together for the next episode, which will be celebrating Christmas. Enjoy the rest of your month, guys.
Sadly, that's all the time we have today. Be sure to check in with oakland.edu/OSI for updates on more fun and educational events happening at OU. This has been the November episode of Explore OU. I'm your host, Tommy Barnes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time, OU.